This episode of Another Happy Pod is going to contain spoilers. If you've not experienced the content yourself, please go ahead and do so before coming back and listening to the boys ramble on about it. Thank you very much.
Hello and welcome back to Another Happy Pod, the show where we talk about pop culture and try to keep things just a little bit more optimistic. We don't always succeed. We do have a bloody fun time doing it though. My name's Nathan and as always I'm joined by Lawrence. Hello.
You wanted to go in a different direction, and I'm surprised you didn't because it's me editing today, so you would have had the freedom to say whatever you wanted.
It's true, I just could not think of anything to say though. But
Oh, okay. So it was a creative lapse, was it?
yes. I may or may not have woken up 5 minutes ago. So
I mean, you were on time. You were early, if anything. So that's you're fine in my books. How are you? How are you? You're having a day off, I believe.
I am having a day off. It's going well so far. I've just been sleeping.
It was just since last night, or
Pretty much. I mean, I woke up this morning and I watched a movie, and
Ooh.
then I went to bed.
Nathan's woken up from his nap at 2 p.m. for context. That's where we're recording. This is not like a regular evening thing. It's not that bad. I am good, since you didn't ask. Thank you very much.
Well, when did I have a chance?
You got to keep it snappy, Nathan. Keep it moving.
Okay, well, how are you?
I'm well. I don't know if you can hear, but next door have recently got a new puppy.
I cannot hear.
Oh, good, because it's barking a lot.
I better put my phone on silent.
Bloody hell. Who's blowing up your line when we're trying to
That-
record the Tick Tick Boom podcast?
That's an email from Patreon.
Oh, you got your receipt through, did you?
It's telling me about all my Patreon subscribers.
Oh, for nudies.
Yeah, that's what Patreon is.
Right, Tick Tick Boom.
Right, okay. So, what is this movie?
This is a movie about a guy called Jonathan Larson who made Rent, but before he made Rent, he made one musical that never took off, and then a solo one-man like monologue type show. I think
the whole thing is just like one long monologue.
Yeah, which is Tick Tick Boom, which is kind of incorporated in this. It's kind of like this film is like a remake, and then it also cuts to like the things in his life that were actually going on that he spoke about in Tick Tick Boom, right?
It's a more in-depth perspective of it. You have the actual monologue stuff, the like stage production, but then because it's a movie and because we're able to do this, we go more in depth and actually see the stuff that he's talking about and see, these events that shaped him and get him to where he is and stuff. So
yeah, and it's got Storm from X-Men Apocalypse in it as well.
Does it? Who's that? Is that his girlfriend?
That's his girlfriend, yeah. Someone said it was her on Twitter, and I was like, that can't be right. She's like 13. And then I remembered X-Men Apocalypse came out in like 2016 or something. And I was like, oh no, I'm old. I'm very old.
You are old, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Andrew Garfield's great, isn't he?
Yeah, he is actually. He's just very good fun dude. Surprisingly good voice.
Yeah, apparently he couldn't sing, but I don't know how. I think that's one of in like an all-round performer's like, I can't sing, and then they're fucking incredible at singing.
Yeah,
I don't know how you go from having no voice to like I don't know how you go from being able to just simply hold a tune to being able to belt out some of these really challenging songs flawlessly.
Yeah, me neither.
No voice.
Yeah, it's difficult to say. He could have sung, but has he ever done anything singing before? Not really.
No, I don't think
Not
so.
that I'm aware of.
No, Again, I haven't seen a lot of his indie old stuff. Maybe he was popping a tune out in Hacksaw Ridge.
He did not bust out a show tune in Doctor Who, but there was a show tune in that episode. So
I keep wanting to do the Hacksaw Ridge impression of him, thinking it's the Doctor Who one, but it's not. It's just because he has a southern accent in both.
they're mostly the same.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold a gun. It's gonna be my way to serve.
I hitched up my coat and I came up to New York.
I went. And they said to me, "I got to put a gun in my hand." I said, "No, sir."
Anyway, here's a man who's a pig and a Dalek who's a man as well.
That's a fantastic episode of Doctor Who for anyone interested.
It was definitely shot in New York. Don't worry about it. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Tick Tick Boom. This little musical, directed by Lin-Manuel. What did you think of the direction for Lin's debut?
Directing debut, yes. I was really surprised at how good this is. Not in a horrible way. Lin-Manuel is he's mad talented. But this is the first time he's done something like this. Obviously, he's directed stage plays and stuff like that. But it is a different medium. It is completely different. And if anything, I don't know if it's harder to do either. To be honest, I don't know which one's the harder one to do. I'd imagine film maybe because it's a bit more technical.
I'm not sure if he ever has directed stage plays. To be honest. He's definitely written them and produced them, but in terms
did he not direct Hamilton?
No, he gets a director on board to do that.
Oh, okay. Well, then this is even more impressive then by that. No, this was really good because it's quite an intimate story and it's very personal and clearly it's his if he was going to make a movie, it was going to be this movie. It was probably quite an undertaking for him, and how remarkably this is shot as well as directed in terms of just where the camera is for certain emotional moments and stuff. I was like, this is really clever. This is cool.
Yeah. It very much has an indie vibe to it. Really, this does nothing about this screams big budget, big production movie, which I guess it is, and I don't know what the budget was, but I can't imagine it was huge.
It wasn't pushed out massively. I know it came out on Netflix and everything, so it had a platform behind it, but it wasn't one of Netflix's big pushes. I remember seeing the trailer for it months back and being like, that looks cool, and then forgot all about it until I knew it was out.
Yeah. There was,
to be honest, thank God Spider-Man happened, because this movie would have made no money if Spider-Man wasn't around. But yeah.
Does it make money though? I mean, it's a Netflix movie.
I don't know, but what I'm saying is it would have had far fewer eyes on it if Andrew Garfield wasn't the talk of December.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, I agree though. I think Lin actually did quite a good job. Like I say, there is a real kind of indie film vibe to it, which definitely works in its favor. It kind of looks like shit, and I mean that in a good way.
Yeah.
It the camera quality doesn't seem great, and it all seems a little bit grainy and that sort of thing. And I don't know if that's just a cinema grain filter added to it, or if that's actually just what they used. But it looks sort of grimy, and I think that kind of works in the the dirty, downtrodden New York kind of vibe that they're going for as well. The struggling, starving artist working at a fucking diner and all that sort of stuff. I think that kind of works with the whole theme of it, really.
I think so, yeah. I'm pretty sure I've just quickly Google searched it. It wasn't shot on film, but it's definitely fucking made to look like it was.
Yeah.
Film does have that grainy aspect to it. But but it all serves it. And that's why I was genuinely quite surprised that how much thought went into this, because I'd imagine it's so easy for a new director, especially one with Lin-Manuel Miranda's name, who could walk on and just say to Netflix, I'm going to make this with this camera. And they would have gone, yeah, fuck, go on, crack on. And they just throw money at him. But there's clearly a lot of thought put behind it. And it does fit the 90s grimy New York setting. Because I think there's one occasion where this film looks visually incredible in terms of what it's showing on screen is graceful and elegant. The shots are good. They're the cinematography is really nice, but in terms of what's in camera, what's being shot, looks nice, and that's used to contrast how fucking ugly his current apartment is. It's the song "No More," I think it's called. Yeah, where they're just no more living in this piece of shit, and then they cut to a penthouse, and he's like, I love living in this penthouse. It's amazing and lovely.
I don't know what else to say, really.
Oh, but the whole movie, you have nothing else to say. No, all right. What was your? This is a musical. You famously are more into musicals than me. Do you have any like background knowledge on Jonathan Larson?
Uh, don't, to be honest. No, I knew that he wrote Rent, and I knew that he died. That's pretty much the only two things I know about him.
Yeah.
Never even seen Rent, to be honest. I know the minutes song, the 525,600 minutes.
Oh yeah.
That's about it, really. I've heard it's good though, and I've heard it deals with a lot of stuff in this, like the AIDS crisis and that sort of thing. So clearly he took the advice and he wrote about what he knew and that sort of thing. So maybe I should watch it. But yeah, no, I didn't know much about it, to be honest. Went in kind of blind to it all.
Yeah, I went into my things that drew me to this was Andrew Garfield and the kind of movie musical like rock thing. I was like, this seems cool, and I watched it, and I was like, fuck, and it's actually a very really like sad story. But I think what it does in
Yeah.
like this really interesting way is kind of it's clearly a love letter to like perseverance in the arts and like striving to make your dreams come true and stuff. But I
Yeah.
think it's really kind of an interesting take to be like strive and your dreams will come true, but then the entire movie just throw shit at a main character. Like
Yeah.
it's cool, and for Lin Manuel Miranda to do that because he's like the I don't know enough about musical theatre to call him the Jonathan Larson of this day. I'd imagine there's more people that are more influential, but he's I guess as famous as he was. I don't know. More so, maybe.
I'd say, yeah, I'd say Lynn is more famous than
Yeah,
Jonathan Larson was. I think quite a lot of people, and maybe this is just the age we live in because information is more readily available, but I think quite a lot of people know about Lynn as opposed to those who would know about Jonathan. I think Jonathan was famous for a particular set of people, like those in the theatre industry and
yeah.
annoying theatre kids and that sort of thing. But I think Lynn has a more well-known fan base, I guess.
Well, I guess he's yeah. It is the day and age that he is
I
like
mean,
way
who
more
doesn't
famous.
know Hamilton? Like,
Yeah,
even if you haven't seen it, you'd have heard of it and shit.
yeah, yeah.
It's yeah. He's
What
he's
was
a
your what was your tune? What was your tune of the
I don't know, to be
musical?
honest. The music was all quite good. I did like the opening number just because I've heard it so much, like fucking on TikTok or whatever,
Yeah,
the 3090 song. I do like that song. There's some really really good ones through it. I think the one where he talks about him and Michael growing up as well and all the stuff they did together just towards the end of the movie. That one
yeah,
was heartbreaking, but
yeah. It
also
was.
just a really really good song as well. Um, yeah, I enjoyed that. And then the really weird one where he was having a fight with Vanessa and Hudgens as well. Um,
Oh, the therapy one, right?
yeah, that was, I don't know, that was really weird, but I also liked it.
As if they get in Gabriela Montez and put her in the sidelines. Ridiculous. Um, no, this whole thing was cool. I love the kind of like how they incorporated Tick Tick Boom, the show, into this because it was like
Yes.
every time the telling of the story and any time that we were watching the events of Jonathan Larson's life and it got a bit too intense or like maybe it needed some context, they just
Yeah.
cut back to Tick Tick Boom, the show, like,
Yeah.
which I'm pretty sure I read somewhere was mostly like verbatim. They pretty much kept it very similar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I heard. I mean, like obviously there's some screenplay touch-ups to make shit a bit more dynamic, and I don't know if it needed changing or whatever. But no, apparently it was mostly the same, which is quite cool.
That's cool. I think you can watch it all on YouTube.
What, the whole thing?
Well, some of it at least.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I've definitely seen like clips recommended to me of Jonathan Larson doing 3090 or whatever.
Yeah, I've seen a
Um,
few of them. Yeah,
so yeah, and then during the credits they've got like footage of it as well.
yeah. That was that footage at the end of the credits. That was like kind of that was. I was already like, wow, that was a really good movie. But then my jaw hit the floor when I was like, oh my god. Like it just looks like Jonathan Larson is walking around on the set they just used to film. Like that's
Yeah, it really
how
does.
well recreated it is. Like you've got Is it the Moon Dance Diner?
Moondance, yeah.
Which is supposedly quite famous. I didn't know that it was quite a famous thing in film and TV.
How did you not know it's a famous diner? It's as seen in the smash hit movie 2002's Raimi's Spider-Man.
That's what I was just gonna say. I googled it, and it's just the meme of MJ where it's like he said this or something like that. Yeah, I just saw it was in the background of that, and I was like, whoa, I had no idea. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's one of those diners that like a lot of like people who work in Broadway go on to. Well, they work there, then they go on to Broadway. I think that's the whole thing behind it.
Yeah.
New York, baby. You got a dollar in your wallet. You can have a fucking $3,000 a month apartment, but don't worry about it. You got a dream in your pocket. That's all that matters here, baby.
Yeah, that's good. That's kind of the argument of Alex Shipp's character Susan, who's Jonathan's girlfriend.
Yeah,
because she's like, hey, this sucks.
we have no money.
Yeah.
I just got a job offer for a very good job. Let's move and have a good life. And he's like, all right, that's great and all. Well done. Proud of you. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. How dare you? You are speaking to Jonathan Larson.
Let me write my little songs and then we'll get back to this. All right.
Yeah.
They don't
you know that musical I'm making with no prospects and not even an interested agent calling me back.
And also, I haven't even written half of it yet, and I'm performing it on Sunday or whatever.
Yeah, to a crowd of literally like no one apart from one guy, and if he doesn't like it, I'm fucked.
And I don't even know if that one guy will show up because I saw him like 3 years ago. He's only like literally the biggest fucking name in musical theatre. So on the off chance that he does show up to my silly little show, I may possibly have something of a career.
In the meantime, you go and do your stupid dances in the Berkshires or whatever.
Imagine just like being like a fucking, I don't know, let's make this more relatable you. Let's say you're a film student. You're making your silly little film. You're making Onion Skin Part 2. And then in walks fucking Steven Spielberg and just sits down and is like, okay. Yes. There's things you need to work on, basically. That would destroy you, and I don't know. It's kind of both because he's not mean, but he's definitely saying like this is bad and you need to work on it.
Yeah, it's not mean. It's constructive criticism, which I think is cool in this because it deals with how like detrimental that can be in terms of like you'll need it to grow as like an artist, but at the same time, one little comment from the wrong person can just live in your head. I'd say rent free, but it's New York, so it's probably way too much rent.
Exactly. Yeah. I did like John Lovitz as the other guy who was just like, well, I think this. and then Sondheim was like, well, actually, I think more of this. And he's like, oh, yeah, no, me too. Yeah, we're the same. We're on the same page, you and me.
That's what I was going to say. Took the words right out of my mouth.
Oh, John Lovitz.
But yeah, Jonathan Larson is a bad boyfriend. Very bad boyfriend.
He is a bad boyfriend, yeah. She was right to break up with him.
Yeah. And it does do the funny, like, kind of artist cliche of like you're blocked, you're mentally blocked for ages, and then like you're in the middle of an argument and you're like, fuck, I just got it, but I can't write it down. It'd be very insensitive to have that, to be like, hang on, can I just pull my notepad out right now?
He does seem like a bit of an insufferable dick at times. He seems like one of those people, and we talked about this when we talked about Soul as well, one of those people who's just blindly focused on their own life and their own goals and dreams, that everything else around them is just noise. If you decided that you want to get a job in advertising, well, you fucking sold out, and that's pretty shitty of you. I'm still working and trying to make the dream happen. There was a scene there, like towards the end, where they finally started to show who was there in the audience of the actual Tick Tick Boom bit. And they didn't show Mike for quite a while, and I was like, oh no. But then they did show. I was like, oh, thank fuck for that.
Yeah.
I'd be very worried for a while there. I don't actually know if he did die or not, but I hope not.
I'm pretty sure, and I don't know if this is 100% correct, but I'm pretty sure that Mike was made up for the movie based
Oh,
on
really?
a collection of a few of his friends. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see.
But again, I might be totally wrong. I didn't look into it enough to know it. I'm pretty sure I read it somewhere that he was kind of made up for the film.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but no, but
Did you notice that the the diner scene, like the scene where they sing that song at the diner, where they have like the Sunday Rush or whatever,
Yeah.
the one which have Lynn's cameo in,
Yeah.
you may or may not have noticed this, but that scene was just, let's get every single Broadway actor who has ever
Yeah.
performed into one scene,
Yeah.
and just fill it with cameos.
Lin Manuel went into his phone that day, typed in Tony's, and anyone that like it would be like people like Philippa Sue Tony, and then he'd be like, right, ring all of these and ask them if they want to show up to the Moondance Diner set to look knowingly at things. That was a bit cheesy.
It was a bit cheesy, yeah. It was very much like, and now the cameos. Look at this Broadway royalty. Everyone who's anyone is here. But it was fun though. It was fun.
It was fun. It wasn't like gratuitous enough to like take anyone out of the set. Or take anyone out of the movie. And the film, like the song itself was kind of about the legacy of kind of what he goes on to do.
Oh, now I hear the dog.
Yeah, the dog's going again. It was fine. It was cool. What was the one thing I was going to say? Yeah, no, but so John was a bad boyfriend, and the thing I loved about that was that how like Lin-Manuel wasn't afraid to show that. Like I would have been really kind of aggravated by this movie if it was just, look how good the arts are for like 90 minutes. And it's not. Like he shows him being a starving artist, like having no rent, living in a shithole.
His power gets cut off.
Yeah, his power gets cut off. He has like writer's block, which is like detrimental to his success and very poorly timed.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, because it is a shithole of an industry. Like, as in, like this, like what's the age old saying? It's like fucking 10% of people that want it make it, or something like that.
I don't think it's even that, to be honest, mate.
Yeah, which is ridiculous, but it shows that like that people have to get incredibly lucky, and it's not like Andrew Garfield, it's not like Jonathan Larson didn't put the work in to get there. Like he sacrificed almost every relationship he had.
Also, the starving artist thing, that's a lie as well. That is like so the amount of luck you need to have to actually make it as a starving artist is fucking incredible. And if you look at not all, but a lot of like the big names in both Hollywood and Broadway in the West End or whatever, one common factor you'll find along quite a lot of them, either famous or very rich parents. That is something that is a big fucking factor in all of this, okay?
Yeah, it's a correlation that pops up quite often in that.
How do you think fucking Benedict Cumberbatch paid for drama school? Eddie Redmayne, fucking Tom Hiddleston. What do these guys all have in common, all right? Because they didn't fucking pay for RADA themselves, guys, okay? Mummy and Daddy footed the bill. Anyway, that's my either rich run over.
Nathan just got really, really upset that he was never able to go to RADA.
Look, I could have gone to RADA if I wanted.
Carl Bauer didn't pay. There's one song in this that I think is, and I don't think it's many people's favorite choice, but I think it, like, you know, I always have that complaint with musicals where it's like, if the music doesn't progress the plot, then what's the point?
Yeah, I stand by the fact that it's a very weird complaint. Not necessarily a weird complaint, just an incorrect complaint.
Not necessarily weird, Lawrence. Just wrong.
Just wrong, yes.
Well,
sometimes it's fun to have just a weird little jaunty tune for no reason.
No, right, and there are times where I think that is used to effect. But like for example,
go next door and kill that fucking dog.
I've actually met that dog. It's very cute.
Okay.
One of my parcels got delivered there the other day, and I went in and saw the young little nipper.
Doesn't sound cute.
Nah, it was cute. He's just new. He needs to settle. He needs our support in this trying time. Okay. So no, anyway, my favorite song in this whole thing is "Swimming."
Yes.
which I think is kind of perfectly sums up what I love movie musical songs to be. So
Okay.
you go in. I'll explain why. So you go in. He goes in, and this is at the height of his like mental block. Like he can't get any work done for the evening. He needs to go
Yes.
out and clear his head. He's just had a big fight with Susan, and his performance, like his potentially career defining performance, is in like 12 hours, and he hasn't got the song he needs.
Yes.
So he goes out, and like the entire thing is him just making up a song in his head. So like he walks over to the pool and he's like stretch, stretch, speared in the musk, and he's like just doing shit and making a melody out of it in his head.
Yeah.
And that's a really good look into like how it's like how his head is just plagued with thoughts. Like he's just like going in and he's just trying anything he can to throw shit at a wall and make it stick. But the part I love the most is when he goes underwater, and you start getting these amazing harmonies come through with that guy and Vanessa Hutchins
Yes.
singing "Come to Your Senses," and it's just like very brief kind of moments of what that song could be. And you just see his eyes widen as he's like underwater. Like he almost seems like he's like, I'm willing to drown if I can fucking just hear this moment for a second. I just thought the performance was amazing. The direction of that scene was amazing. Like they use this kind of something else that I've said is bad in the Heights, when he says like that I've got more flows than Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then like a lightsaber graphic comes on the screen.
Yeah.
They've got a similar thing to that, where it's like the pool's kind of tiles turn into these musical notes.
Yeah.
And I just think it's used so much better and so much more to the character's effect and the film's effect. And it was the polar opposite of what I thought when they did it in the Heights. And I was like, this is amazing.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I do think it was something that was used better, and it was very visually pleasing. I also liked it in the Heights, though. It was a little pointless, but I don't mind.
Well, that's the thing. Like it wasn't like damaging or anything. Like it wasn't bad. It was just unnecessary flourish for no reason.
But I think you just perfectly summed up musicals. Unnecessary flourish for no reason. That's their whole fucking idea.
Yeah, and it might be, but I just think when it all works together in tandem, it's another layer that's just like, fuck, this is cool. And I guess it also, in the medium of film, it did something that you can't do in a stage production. Which I think is cool in itself, because it shows the reason for moving it to a film.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it was just working on all cylinders, that song specifically, and was just fucking really good shit.
Okay.
But yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, fuck you in the Heights. You suck, and so does Obi-Wan Kenobi.
There was a few notes of In the Heights at the opening of this movie, and because there was one of the studio logos, which I think must be Lynn's studio, I guess now, because it had a few notes of the last song. The hydrants are open bit.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I didn't catch it.
Yeah. Well, not big a fan. Not true Lynn head like me.
Clearly not. A Lynn head. Do they have their own fandom name yet?
Probably. I don't know. The Mirandum.
The Mirandamites or something like.
Oh, that's awful.
It was bad. Well, they're all awful. That's the point.
Yeah.
What else could one be?
I don't know. The Linnies.
There's a couple of Linnies on the podcast talking about Lynn. That's awful.
I don't know if you've ever seen a picture of Stephen Sondheim, but David Bradley looks eerily like him.
Yeah, he does. I looked up after this. It took me a minute to realize it was David Bradley for a sec.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is cool. No, I'm really glad this hasn't been pushed into like the whole. The box I can only describe as polished white people musicals, which are
explain what you mean by that.
The two that fit the category, and you'll get it immediately, is La La Land and The Greatest Showman.
Okay, yeah, got you.
Yeah, which is just like maybe Panic at the Disco will do a cover of one of them, and that will go viral on TikTok, and everyone will be like, "Oh my god, this scene!" because they used the tiniest bit of color theory. Then they just lied to make a character more accessible and able to sell tickets.
Should
Like,
we do an episode on The Greatest Showman someday?
I
I mean,
I
it would
want to
be
keep negative. I want to keep positive, and it would be a large rant.
it
If
would
I'm
it
honest.
would be like 40 minutes of me just screaming
Yeah.
on the microphone.
If you think our cats episode was us being negative, fuck me. You just wait for The Greatest Showman. Maybe
Yeah.
our 100th episode will do The Greatest Showman, just to
Maybe.
really drum home the point of another happy pod.
Yeah, let us know if you want to hear that, or don't. I don't care.
Yeah. To be honest, I'd enjoy the content, but at the same time, I'd really rather not watch it.
I'd also really rather not watch it, but I will.
But just like Jonathan Larson, Nathan, we suffer for our art.
Yeah, we had to suffer through the Star Wars Holiday Special for no fucking reason.
Oh, I'm still sour on that. Still sour.
Tick, good time. I don't think we talked enough about Robin De Jesus, his character, and Mike, because he was like really good, like really fucking good.
He's got this incredible chemistry. He's got like this amazing natural chemistry with Andrew Garfield. I don't know if that comes down to them two just being great actors, but it's they just locked, and you really believed, even with the two child actors they cast that look nothing like either one of them. You really believe that these guys have been friends since they were like 5.
They did do that thing though. One thing I hate with child actors is whenever they're having like a flashback scene and they get a child actor to play, you know, the younger version of the main person, it's the hair. Yeah, they always give them the exact same haircut that they have in like their 30s or whatever. So just so you know it's them, and like they haven't changed in 30 years. Come on.
Yeah, they've never once had a haircut in that time. or they've consistently kept. They go to the barbers with a picture of their 5-year-old self saying, "Do not deviate from this. This is the template I would like."
Exactly. Yeah, I always hate that, but whatever.
It's always funny, especially when like one of the characters is like slightly balding as well. It's just like, you're gonna shave the kid's head? How are you gonna do this?
You're gonna give this kid a receding hairline
at the age of 5. Oh god. Oh no, but their relationship was incredible, and he's got an amazing way. Robin De Jesus has got this amazing way of just screaming silently. Do you know what I mean? Like there's that moment where he's singing, looking out the window of his office, and he's just like, there's just a tear rolling down his cheek, and his eyes are fucking heartbreaking in that scene.
Yeah.
And he's singing one note, but the fact that you can see that much emotion, like, obviously it shows why he was like I think he was one of the only big Broadway stars that got a role in this without having a massive Broadway career behind it. Do you know what I mean?
Is he a Broadway star? I didn't know that.
He's the original Sonny.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's he's really good. I mean, it is funny because in the original In the Heights, he still looks like 40, being a kid, like going around being like, you know, you love me, chillax, man. Like, the hippest, coolest 40-year-old there was.
That's Broadway, baby.
That is literally the definition of Broadway. Here's a 15-year-old with a receding hairline.
Lin-Manuel at the ripe age of 44 going, I'm only 19, but my mind is older.
Yeah.
You sure about that one, Lynn?
I watched Blood Brothers once, like years and years ago, and the fact that Blood Brothers commit to the idea of like the same set of twins playing them from ages 7 till like 25 is just unbelievable.
Isn't the majority of Blood Brothers set when they're kids as well, though?
A good first like at least a third of it is when they're about 7. Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah, and then you these two, like, and obviously they'll always cast older than the actor anyway, because they're not going to cast 2 18-year-olds. So like, it's not even believable that they're 20, let alone 7. It's good. It's funny, but that is musicals down to the T. Yeah, no, I think that's kind of my opinions on it. It seems like there's not much to say, but it's kind of it's a movie that kind of hit it on all cylinders for me. That I think was like, it just worked. There's not a lot to pick out because everything flows really well together.
Yeah, if I had to rate it anything, I would give it the Keith seal of approval, which is, of course, one for you, I reckon.
Do you want to give it context, or we just let it sit?
I'll just let that sit, I reckon.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this is definitely, according to Keith, one for me.
There you go. But not just you. But I wasn't saying specifically you. I was saying you was in the audience. So
Yeah,
one for you.
One for you, I reckon.
One for you, I reckon. Yeah. So there we go. Check it out. It's on Netflix, so it's free.
So, thanks everyone for having a raucous time with us two Linnies talking about this musical, this movie. Next week we're going to be doing a little bit of this.
It's Fanboys.
Wowee.
Wowee woo.
Wowee woo are indeed. Just two Linnies talking about that next week, so we can't wait. We've got some lovely new artwork. I don't know if you noticed. Don't know if you were looking frantically for your new episode and going, "Where's the weird teal green color thing?"
Yeah.
But no, not anymore. We're now two personalized icons, thanks to Chris from the Weekly Planet Posters, who's a big legend. And we are we've got the bisexual colors, haven't we, Nathan? We're flying the bisexual.
Yeah, we're flying the flag. So yeah, that's our 2022 colors. In 2023, we might switch it up to the trans colors. Who knows? But right now, we're feeling bi pride. So
yeah, exactly.
I will say, fuck you, Tim Apple. We're no longer beholden to your memojis or whatever. So we no longer have to live under constant threat of being sued at any given moment.
Yeah. Tim Apple knocks down our door with a gun and says, "Give me all the royalties," and we give him nothing. That is how much we make from this.
We've not made a penny from this, Tim. All right.
If anything, we've lost pennies because you had to buy a mic.
I already had the mic, but we've definitely spent money more than we should have. Well, I mean, we fucking paid for the thing for Chris, didn't we?
Oh yeah. Well, there we go. Yeah, in itself.
So already we're in the red.
And that's not to even count the amount that we have to spend renting movies on Amazon Prime.
That's true. Yeah, I still can't get over the fact that I spent almost 20 quid on 2 occasions to rent both Wonder Woman and then King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah,
because it was only available to rent, and it was 20 quid to have it for 3 days, which is a good fair price, I reckon.
Why didn't you just blah 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 it?
I could have just blah blah blahed it, but I did not just blah 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 it. I don't know.
No, you're a fool. You could have saved yourself 20 squids.
I did blah 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 the Matrix Resurrections though.
I think everyone blah 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 the Matrix Resurrections, right?
We probably won't do an episode on it. This is just nothing. We probably won't do an episode on it because it's too confusing. But it was. I still don't know if I like it.
I've got a fairly decent take. I reckon give it time and we could do an episode on it.
All right. But maybe we'll do a whole Matrix episode at some point.
Oh, that'd be fun.
The whole collection.
Where the last 10 minutes is just us being like, okay. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. New episodes of this podcast come out Fridays at 10 a.m. Next week we're going to be doing Fanboys. I've already said that. We are going to continue our status on Twitter and Instagram.
Okay.
I didn't know where I was going with it. I just started speaking and then I found it. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Another Happy Pod. You can find us there. You can give us a little follow. You can also.
This is the life. Boom, boom, boom. Carry on. This is the life. Boom, boom.
Do you know how distracting it is?
No, you can carry on. Just a little bit of background music.
Oh, good.
Life, boom, boom, boom.
You can also give our podcast a 5-star review if you like. Get on there, go on Apple Podcasts, give us a little 5 stars and tell
do it
us.
On Spotify now as well.
You can do it on Spotify now as well. It's just getting there. Do that, and we'll see you next week. I'm yawning as we speak.
Oh, bad form.
Listen, first one back of the year. Yeah. We relaxed on this one. Next week we'll be back properly, I promise.
We took it easy. We chilled out.
We did.
Yeah.
You even had a little nap.
Not during the podcast.
Maybe I'm gonna cut out 20 minutes of what you're saying in the podcast with just me talking to myself, and now it's gonna feel like you have.
Just putting some light snooze in sound effect. You know that cartoon snoring where it's like.
Yeah.
Why did I do that? Anyway, that's it. See you next week. As always, say hello to your dog for me. Peace out, guys.
I'll go next door and say goodbye to their dog.
Not that one.
Oh, yeah.